Season 4 Cycle number 6 action coming at you on, of course, what is the playoffs, our final day here of Cycle number 6. And that means we got a loser's bracket matchup to kick it off. The winner of this will play in the grand finals against Complexity Gaming, who is currently sitting by, waiting to see who their opponents, of course, are going to be. Speaking of that, we got this loser's bracket final matchup. The two teams that are competing for that spot, it is Sync Esports, who lost yesterday to Complexity to get to this point, going up against BMG, Bad Monkey Gaming, who, of course, defeated Fresh yesterday to get to this point. So obviously these brackets, they've been fun so far, kicking off yesterday. The new patches at us. We've obviously got to see some changes even as a result of that patch. So that's been fun, and looking forward to seeing how that continues into today. So with that said, excited to be here to say the very least. And joining me as a co-caster actually for this first series, also going to be here is happens to be playing later today, but not yet. He's Formless of Complexity. How's it going, man?
Hey, Breaky. It's gonna be fun to actually watch this game and kind of scout out the competition before our matches today.
That's a good point. You know, both these teams, obviously, you're pretty familiar with, to say the least. I mean, Sync and BMG, but again, a new patch happened, so things kind of changing a little bit. So is that more so what you're going to be looking for, to seeing if they're using some of these patch changes, especially?
Yeah, we're pretty curious to see what like the new strategies are going to be with some of these new, or not new teams, but some of the higher tier teams. I also wanted to mention that Sync is actually using Sari instead of Mastera, and I believe that's Mickey, and I think that he is their new fifth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Wow, yeah, no, I just realizing that actually now that you point that out. So you think it's Mickey?
Teltuk was messaging me, and he says it is Mickey, and that he is replacing Masera.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, I haven't heard about that myself, but you know, obviously Masera not here, and whoever this sorry player is, I guess that could be possible. It is spelled similar to how Mickey spelled his name, so I'll say that. a little bit of a chance there. Very interesting. Yeah, you know, especially if that is the case, to kind of do that like literally on the final day of the playoffs, huh? That's something. Yeah, I would be curious to see, you know, how that actually turns out here with you know, eventually today and then of course after it. But interesting insight already. All right, very interesting. Okay. Anyways, well, knowing that especially, at least the possibility there, that's pretty cool. Anyways, we got the draft here to talk about, though. There's already plenty that's happened, so let's get into it. The initial bans, I did have to connect, just like you did, reconnect here. So, unfortunately, it was Midas and Warbeast. I know that. I'm not exactly sure what the other two were. Kind of process of elimination right here. I think it would have been Midas, Warbeast. Gosh.
I see Wild Soul up there.
Wild Soul, yeah. It was definitely Wild Soul.
Wild Soul Kinesis, maybe?
It was. You're right. You are correct. Kinesis ban. That was probably banned by Sync. Very safe to say. Anyways, a draft here. Behemoth into Arachna, Hellbringer into Magnus, Ophelia into Lord Salforce. So, Arachna, we've been seeing a bit of Arachna. We saw a bit of him yesterday, too. What do you think of this draft here, though, for us?
Sync's draft is really teamfight heavy. They have the huge AoE ultimates from the Hellbringer and the Behemoth, and the pushing power from Ophelia Rhapsody. So far, I don't really get the Arachna pickup. I know teams like it because it shuts the strong laner. And Magnus is a comfort hero for BMG, but I like the Lord Salforce pick because it does a great job at countering those heals from Ophelia, Rhapsody, Hellbringer even. So I like that pickup.
Lord Salforce is a very interesting one. We talked a bit about it yesterday too. He even got buffed. You know, his move speed obviously got increased by 10 in the patch, and other than that, nothing was changed. I mean, this is a hero going into the patch that was really picking up steam, considered to be a powerful one. We didn't actually see him a lot yesterday, which was a little surprising, but as you mentioned, we see him here. I mean, are you surprised to see Lord Salforce? Not really?
I mean, not really against the Legion team. I think the hero is definitely really strong, especially with the new jungle change. But he's more of a counter pick than just an overall, like we want Salforce to have Salforce.
Okay. Gotcha. So the counter pick of the heals here is definitely a strength for sure. So the final pick, Dr. Repulsor, looks like Sync is going to go with as their carry of choice. So it's safe to say a pretty active team, that the Doctor pick up here to finish it off. You like the carry choice?
Yeah, it's definitely a good carry choice because of how active it can be. Especially, I don't know the new item build really for Doctor Repulsor, seeing as Icon just got nerfed, and I think Haxorn likes to go with the first item Hellflower anyways. But I think the carry was a fine choice this game.
Hmm.
What they also could have done though is the Oogie. I was just looking at that. It's not banned, especially with the new Jade Spire item.
Have you had the chance to experience that quite a bit yet in TMM at
I
least?
actually I haven't. I haven't been able to test out the new item at all in Oogie.
Oh wow, you win the game before you can get it.
Yeah, I had just picked up the Gnome's Wisdom yesterday when the Vote to Concede passed.
Yeah, we actually obviously we were watching that yesterday. We were pointing that out how you went the gnomes very late, which I found very interesting, especially with how the gnomes has got buffed here. I mean, was that kind of a conscious decision, or did you almost forget about it? Or
It was because of the fact that they didn't have much magic damage, and they changed gnomes to be more of like the magic abyssal skull. So it just gives lots of magic armor, not
okay,
so much like intellect, which is like a crucial part of Oogie. You need that mana pool.
gotcha. Well, that makes sense. Okay, so the final pick here, though, Cthulhu Font coming out for BMG. It looks like they're going to go with that Jungle Elephant here, with Teltuk playing it. So they spent a little bit of time thinking about it, and that's what they end up with. So that means Lord Salforce is actually going to be laning instead. Something we don't see often, I feel like. Usually he is in that jungle. So what about that switch? Why do you think they went the Cthulhu Font here?
Um, because I think they like it because of how active it can be. Um, is it jungling or is it? Where is it?
I assume it's going
Uh,
to be jungle with Teltuk playing it.
Okay, it looks like he's headed bottom for now though. But I guess it's okay against Ophelia because you can use the what's it called, the hook'em, the W on Ophelia creeps. But other than that, I think it's just a hero that can be pretty active early on against Legion's aggression.
Hmm. Yeah, and the aggressive jungle is definitely something that Cthulhu Font could fit pretty well. So, yeah, it is interesting always, seeing again, especially since they had a jungler, they could have easily instead just gone maybe a suicide hero, I guess, or a middle hero even. But yeah, they chose Cthulhu Font for the jungle, and instead they sent Self-Force to the lane, like I said. And speaking of that, look at Lord Self-Force where he's actually setting up. He's setting up in the top lane here, even currently. So they're going to short lane farm a Self-Forest. Arachne will end up mid here by Baltazar. And I'm not sure what Engineer is going to end up either, but interesting laning phase here for BMG.
Okay, so Fuzen actually blocked both of his hard camps. They want to put Cthulhu in the enemy jungle. They're manning up actually.
Oh, they are, yeah. Okay. NG's coming down here.
Doctor is a pretty weak hero against man ups, so this could work out.
Yeah, so you like this decision? I mean, you talked about Cthulhu Font. He can obviously be pretty good in this role, the aggressive jungle. So, um, you like this decision then from BMG?
Um, yeah, I mean it's a fine choice. They blocked their own hard camp, so Ophelia's not going to get much. I like the decision, but I think they needed Cthulhu needs to bring down a rev ward to counter that hard camp block from the Legion side.
Obviously having to deal with that for the time being, but we'll see if he's able to take care of that. But now Rhapsody is down here with the Doctor Repulsor. I'm sure by now the Legion team is pretty aware of what's going on. You did talk about also Engineer blocking the hard camps up here in his own jungle, so Ophelia going around, and how about that too, a Wild Hunter here, so he's really having a tough start here, to say the least. This is not going to be a friendly start for Zlapt coming out here. Ooh, but he gets a Pastula, and he's going to come with it to the top lane. You see Self-Force is pretty far pushed up here. I mean, I don't know if they have the damage, though, man. It's a Self-Force, after all.
They might.
Okay, they're going to try it right here. He needs to explode if they want a chance. No, he skirts on out of there. It's so difficult with that W, especially, the move speed, the life steal, the life tap, so unsuccessful in the end. Is he still hanging around? He wants this to happen. Self-Force is going to find him. Oh, and a vote deposit will come out. So, going to think about this, apparently, as far as what they want to do. But, yeah, Zlapt, I mean, I guess he's just making do with what he's got. Like, Pastula is not the greatest farming creep. It's kind of, he has to work with what he's got, right? Like, this is a difficult start for Ophelia.
Yeah. One thing though about Legion's lineup is they really want to be active early. They really want Zlap to get that early Ashley so they can start pushing towers. But with how Zlap's game is going to go at the moment, I don't think that Legion's going to get that early start that they need.
Yeah.
But they do have amazing team fight, so with the Behemoth Hellbringer combo.
Mm-hmm.
So anything could happen.
Yeah, definitely a strong combination right there for sure. So you do see Cthulhu Fun here at the bottom lane, as it looks like we're going to be coming out of the pause here. Is possibly going to be setting up. He's in the area as if he's going to be looking for that. So I'll keep the camera down here for the time being. Oh, I'm going to instead go over to the jungle camper now, which is currently stacked, actually. And he's going to go ahead and make use of that here. So if you are the Legion team, Rhapsody, she's kind of in that interesting spot. You know, is she really accomplishing a lot down here, or would you maybe rather see her perhaps rotate middle, or I guess even all the way to the top lane? Or is she fine at the bottom? Is this kind of the best case for her?
See, it's hard to say though, because Doctor can't solo the lane by himself. So if he abandons Doctor, they're just going to keep diving him over and over again. But all Rhapsody can really do at the moment is just sit behind his carry and try and make sure that he doesn't die.
Yeah. Okay, gonna be going for that here. So he's doing that. Obviously, he's Serenity for the time being, and as long as he doesn't die and his carry doesn't die, you know, it's safe to say he's accomplishing that. But it is a lot easier said than done. Again, this is potentially a very heavy kill combination here of heroes. Now they're setting up again, but the lane positioning isn't the best for them right here. You see Doctor and Rhapsody are basically hugging the tower, so not giving Cthulhu Font and the rest of them the best chance to open up.
Yeah, one thing that I noticed is that they're not getting lane control in the bottom lane for the Hellborn. So I think what they should be doing is using one of the heroes, either like Cthulhu or Engineer, to actually go behind the Legion tower and pull the creeps themselves. And then they get instant lane control. And then the Legion heroes wouldn't be able to lane if Cthulhu's constantly like running towards the pool and not letting them stack it. The bottom lane is Ophelia.
Yeah, Ophelia's coming in. Now, this is interesting. She has an Invisor, and obviously like, kind of an awkward rune on her because of the creep is still visible. But he's keeping the creep behind. Now, a Ward of Sight spotted it running over, however. So, as sneaky as Lapt is trying to be right here, it is pretty obvious that something's going on. So, BMG definitely picking up on that. You see Teletook himself is very confused on what's going on. He's like, wait, why is there a creep by itself? This isn't right. The hell's happening here? So even middle lane, it looks like Arachna, she's going to be ready for it, yeah. Not a big deal there, so. Again, Zlap trying his best, but man, 90 gold per minute on Zlap right here. Ouch. Not a good time.
And that hero isn't known for farming the fastest in the jungle either, so it's going to be hard for him to recover.
Yeah. Not a friendly start, but you know, it's safe to say obviously Zlap a fantastic player, especially when it comes to jungle, and if you want a way to beat Sync, definitely addressing him in that jungle is a good way to do it. Middle lane, by the way, Arachna is in trouble this time around. Zlap coming in from the side. You see Behemoth a big part of this, though, and they are going to get the kill onto Arachna, so at least Zlap being useful there. But now he's in trouble, actually. Cthulhu Font running over. However, Behemoth does have another fissure stun in 4 seconds. Will Cthulhu Font go for the trample? He is going to go for it. I don't know if it's going to be enough damage, though. No, the block comes out, and Ophelia will actually survive. So Behemoth being there, right place, right time kind of deal, and actually keeps his teammate alive. So well played there. And yeah, Behemoth, sorry, whoever this sorry may be, apparently could be Mickey, making some big plays right there. Help his teammate.
It's a little unfortunate that Zippy died there in the dive, though. He did get kind of blocked and get killed by the tower.
Yeah. Oh, bottom? Nope, gonna be fine. He's been in the middle lane, right? As Sorry, or
yeah. Well, Sari's been top. He was 1 versus 1 against the South Forest.
Okay. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, he's been in the top lane now. Oh, the block on the wrong side. Oof. Gets that on the other side. That's possibly another kill with Hellbringer being there. So yeah, Hellbringer was the one that was mid. I mean, take a look at Creep Farm, 14-9. Arachna 19-14, 20-14 now. So Arachna with that death obviously slowing down a little bit, but overall having the better. Cthulhu Font, he's in trouble right here. He did not have his trample up, and you see right there they eventually find him for the kill. So again though, Behemoth, another setup for a kill. He is 1-0-1 right here. He's definitely accomplishing a bit, roaming from the top lane. You like to see that from the long lane heroes, of course. good at. How about self-force, though? I mean, should they be worried about self-force, however? I mean, a free-farming self-force, is that something to be concerned about?
I mean, it is, especially against the Legion team. The hero is extremely scary. They are running the dual core carry lineup. So I think that once it gets to a certain point in this game, that BMG does have an advantage. So, but one thing is they really need Doctor to farm also. He is at 220 gold per minute. They need to force the Magnus out of the safe lane so that Doctor can safely farm it. But
not
yeah,
really able to do that yet.
No, they're not. They need a level 6 on Doctor Repulsor.
What about self-force? So let's go to that for a second. Is what we're talking about. Actually, bottom lane. They are going to go into Dr. Repulse right here. Staccato stuns are on cooldown, and Magnus will help get the kill onto Dr. Repulsor. Now, Maki trying to survive in the meantime, and actually is going to be successful with that as well. So Engineer obviously a big part of that too. And there you go. So just as you're talking about trying to open up some farm, some time for Hacks trying to get farm, unfortunately he goes down right there. And that's that killer combo though of NG and Magnus. So not too surprising. Let's talk about some force over a second again. His item build. We did see Zlap pick it up against you guys yesterday, and he actually went for more of a combat style. I think he went the Shrunken Head and a Frostwolf Skull even. He got Tablet and Sheepstick have kind of been the normal, at least up into the patch. Well, how would you prefer to see this build here?
Well, I personally like the tablet. I like his item so far. I think Ghost Marchers and a tablet would be really good. I know that since Sheepstick, the build-up was changed. Like, it's all intellect. Like, on the new stats for the new build-up for Sheepstick. So it's really painful to build it as a strength hero. Oh, bottom lane.
Yeah, they're going to try to turn this on to Raps, or Engineer, excuse me, but at what cost here? Eruption coming out. But Dr. Repulsor, oh my god, he just got out of range. He didn't use all his mana. Here comes Malphus, and Magnus is going to be killed with Doctor staying alive, so they had to use a lot right there. But it was enough to save Dr. Repulsor and get the turn kill. But man, yeah, that eruption. Magnus stopped running, it even seemed like, for a second. I don't know if it would have actually been enough, but man, that was so close. Taking him out right there. Is he being sent back? Yeah, okay. He's going to be fine, so that's good for Hacks here. But again, Malphus being used, so they're going to try to make use of it now more and push this bottom tower. I don't know if it's going to be an easy one, though. You see Self-Force already porting in, and he's going to.
It's good though. I like the decision to port in from Boxy. Not letting him get those early towers is going to stop their snowball.
Oh, Baltazar going down middle lane. I don't know if you caught that, but that was looks like Doctor. Yeah, he came in and helped set up the kill in the middle lane actually. So yeah, they defend the bottom tower, but they lose Baltazar in the middle. In the meantime, so. Not good. Do you think that they need to send Arachna to the top lane, perhaps?
I think that Arachna does need to recover in the top lane. It's too dangerous from the lane middle. They could just stick to Cthulhu middle. He's a hard hero to gank. He can keep his lane back. I think Cthulhu should take over middle lane while Arachna farms top and Self-Force farms the jungle. And then have Engineer focus on getting those triple stack Ancients for Self-Force and then have him really snowball. I think that would be BMG's best game plan at this point in the game.
Okay. Oh, Self-Force coming back to the top lane for the time being, though, and going to harass Behemoth a little bit there. But, again, you do see Behemoth 300 gold per minute. He's got even a little extra build up here. He's got the bottle, the power supply. I'm sure the portal key going to be next in line here. Of course, needing even 100 extra gold now for it, but still a heavy priority on any hero that would get it before, obviously. I've been having fun, kind of now having new co-casters here and there, and especially with this big patch, like to get some different opinions. Well, one of the things I've kind of been getting opinions on is the new. It's actually bottom. Okay, Doctor is going to be fine. The new Soul Trap item. It's an early game item. It's 1,000 gold to get. Do you think it's a decent item? Could we possibly see it, or what?
I don't really like the item. I think it's a bit too expensive for what it does.
Okay.
I think if the price was nerfed just a little bit, it could be decent. It could be like the thing is, I've never really seen anybody pick it up yet. So,
No.
but just going off of like what it does.
Strength and mana regen. It is an interesting combination.
Yeah.
Of assets there that you get. I do think it is one of those items that maybe it's going to be a little bit of kind of tweaking going on as time goes on. But personally, I think the thing that could be a decent change would be maybe making it give mana as well when you do the regen. But
yeah, that would actually be pretty good. But right now, for its cost, I don't think it does that much, and I don't know. I don't know what hero would really benefit from it. Like,
yeah. Well, like a Midas maybe comes to mind. He is a strength hero, and obviously he uses mana.
But it's 1,000 gold. Midas farms so fast, and it's 1,000 gold. So I think Midas would rather pick up an Astrolabe or like get that early portal key.
Okay. So there's just better choices then.
Yeah, I think it has potential. It just needs to be tweaked a little bit.
Okay. Oh, middle. They're going for Ophelia right here. This should be a kill. Okay, Spider Sting maybe a little overkill, but it is a short cooldown, so Arachna might as well. However, here comes Malphus, as well as the Shockwave. Speaking of overkill, Engineer feels it right there. Magnus stuns back in. Cut through the fight. Hits the trample, but Protective Melody is going to save some damage there and allow Sync to actually push out. Behemoth, again, he doesn't have a Shockwave, but he's chasing. He's got a Fissure Block ready to go. He is going to be able to use it right here, and maybe the Undying is, no, he can't even get it off. He gets down before he can do a thing. Magnus, however, is going to fall. Not before killing Rhapsody, though, in the midst of that. So pretty chaotic middle fight right here. But I think it is coming to a conclusion in the end. But what was that, really a 2-for-1 exchange, I guess? A lot of ultimates used on either side. Who do you think BMG won that, or?
I think BMG came out on top. Did Malphus? Actually, no, Malphus is still alive. Uh-oh, mid lane.
Yeah, Arachna getting a little too comfortable, actually. And he is going to fall, so... Well, with that happening, I think maybe Sync gets a little bit of the favor then.
Yeah. One thing, though, that I like is that BMG is really trying to counter the early aggression of Sync. They're constantly grouped up as like 4 or 5 heroes, and they have all those AoE abilities. One thing I want to say, though, is that was a pretty big Rhapsody ulti from Serenia. He kept them in the fight because of that Rhapsody ulti.
Yeah. No, absolutely. The Rhapsody ultimates, the Protective Melody, it is one of those big fight-changing abilities. It's we see so many epic moments with it where, again, even if you just simply channel it for a second or so, as long as it prevents that bit of burst that happens, then it's done its job. So, yeah, no doubt, I agree with you there. That Rhapsody, a big part of saving and helping to turn that fight for the Legion team, as we saw. Sticking to item builds is actually BMG doing what they do best, using this Veiled Rot right here. And they're going to find Ophelia. That should be an easy kill. There's no champers left.
Poor Ophelia.
Yeah.
And now all his minions might die as well. Maybe not. No, maybe not.
So Forrest's not going to stick around. He did get the tablet, by the way. So, yeah, that was an interesting point you brought up, though, with the new buildup of Sheepstick. It is all intelligence now. So for a hero like a South Forest, he doesn't necessarily need a crazy amount of intelligence. So a little awkward, but it's still. I mean, if we saw it, would you be surprised?
No, the item is still amazing. It's just that the build-up is so like kind of useless for strength heroes. So it makes you not really want to build the item until later on in the game when you have enough of the other stats, I guess.
Okay.
Like that's why his lap I think went to Frostwolf yesterday. It's an overall really good top lane.
Through the pond trying to get away actually, but ain't gonna happen when you got a Dr. Repulsor chasing you down. So good pursuit on him. Now they got the tower kill, however, so a little bit of a good trade-off there for BMG.
Yeah. Taltuk though is really falling behind. He's actually behind Laps, and
big
you
middle
really
fight, by the way. Malphus coming down. Shockwave going to be used right there. Behemoth is going to fall, though. The energy field was definitely doing some work. Good positioning there coming out from Fusen. Meanwhile, the fight continues, though. Protective Melody again saving some damage. Hellbringer will stay alive as a result. Ophelia's touch already coming out, too. And he is going to survive in the long run. Magnus now, he's trying to play the game of getting away. He's got Lava Surge in 1 second. Going to be able to use it over the ledge, and it will survive, actually. So they got Behemoth killed. Engineer fell. Makes it a 1-for-1 here, at least in the middle lane. Again, Malphus being used. And only getting the 1 kill out of it, however. So, but these two teams, they're clearly not afraid to fight here. They're really clashing. into one another. And actually, oh boy, Magnus, he might, yep, he's definitely dead.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was from Make. I mean, I guess he didn't think Hellbringer would be there, but he kind of stumbled onto the wave with low HP.
Mistake indeed, and Zibe takes advantage of it, so unfortunately cost him his life right there in the long run. Yeah, so you're going up by Cthulhu Font, though. Teltic's kind of falling behind a little bit.
Yeah, he's kind of filling that second support role now, it feels like. Instead of, I mean, I guess they do have 3 farmers with the Magnus, Arachna, and the Soft Forest, so if Cthulhu was taking a lot of farm, it'd be a little bit too much. But you'd still like to see like a little bit more of an impact from Cthulhu Font. He's 0-2-0 right now.
Yeah. So I gotta ask you this, you know, being that you're of course lead of captain of a team that has a Cthulhu Font pick. You know, you've drafted it before several times. You know what you got, plays it in the jungle. I've had opinions, and I mean, it's personally my opinion kind of too. The hero is it seems a little weak with the skill set overall. You know, it's not the most guaranteed stun. His ultimate's a little underwhelming. Why do you like the hero? Well, why do you draft it for your team?
Because of the fact that it can be aggressive early game. It counters Parasite. Like, you know, you can just blink on him, eat the puzzle box mauler or whatever creep that he's in, and then bottom lane.
Yeah, Magnus gonna get caught there. That's a portal key coming into play from Behemoth, of course, using it right away to set up a kill, and that will be the end of it for now, unless they keep going. Actually, Cthulhu Font, he's still kind of hanging around. Behemoth wants to keep going, but I think it's gonna be a little too far now. And it's gonna have to push the tower right here. So Sync is gonna make the secondary tower push. Speaking of the elephant here, he actually did just get his own portal key. But without Magnus, I don't know if they're going to be pretty confident in defending here. This might be a risky play.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay. I'm not sure what Boxy's doing. That was really scary because they could have gotten Malphist, and then they need Magnus up to defend the towers. That eruption is going to play a huge part in killing the entire enemy team. So, but I think that they have so much AoE on the Hellborn that if they get the Wombo combo off with Magnus, Cthulhu Font, Soft Forest, Engineered, that the entire Legion team will drop.
Yeah.
And then the Soft Forest ulti will be on most likely like Hellbringer, Doctor Repulsor, so the Ophelia heals won't save him.
So I want to go back to Cthulhu Font for a second. So it sounds like, you know, you like for the early game impact as well as a Parasite counter. Now, I mean, that I 100% agree on, and that makes sense. Now, we don't have enough Parasite this game, though. I mean, sure, Ophelia, you can't eat the minions there, so I guess there is that value, but I don't know. To me, it just seems like it's a little underwhelming.
Yeah, I didn't really care for the Cthulhu Font pickup here. I guess they picked it because they wanted to man up. But other than that, it doesn't really accomplish much against the Legion team.
Mm-hmm. So maybe it is just because of the fact that the early game just didn't go as they hoped for. That now it's definitely worth seeing the weaknesses in the hero, perhaps. But at the same time, it could have worked, and we would be praising it. So, but yeah, being 0-2-0, only 200 gold per minute, not the stat line you're looking for when you pick up Cthulhu Font here. Let's talk about Arachna. She's how's her farm doing overall? 367 gold per minute or so, so it's okay here. Baltazar, you know, obviously Arachna, is one of her obvious weaknesses is when it comes to farming. She isn't necessarily the greatest at neutral farming. And also, so you can say with like the Thunderclaw change, that probably nerfed her a little bit because it's now that much more costly to get something like a Thunderclaw to help somebody like her's farm. So, do you like his item build currently and going to Shrunken now?
I do. He really needs a Shrunken against the Legion lineup, so he's not locked down for the whole entire team fight. I like his item progression right now. I think investments could also be pretty good on him. It'd make him pretty tanky, especially with his what's it called? Hardened Carapace.
Yeah. Shrunken Head seems so weird, though. We saw Haxorant go it a couple times, but now against this Legion team, they are pretty heavy magical overall. So I guess in that aspect, you could argue it is great here. But doesn't it seem a little odd, you know, being a hero that you do have that Hardened Carapace? And
well, it's not just for like the damage. Like the magic damage. I mean, of course, because Hard Carapace does a really good job at just negating that magic damage. But it's also the Legion team has a ton of lockdown, and Arachne wants to be able to just get his spider off and attack people, and without a shrunken head, he's not going to be able to do that.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be getting it here, and again, it is also the mentality of perhaps it's a pretty defensive style, but as you're pointing out, it does feel it's necessary here. So.
I mean, even though it is defensive, we have to remember that Ragnar does have his E, which it increases his attack damage by up to 80%.
Yeah, true.
Depending on HP, and he also does have that Spider Sting, which does 750 physical damage too.
It does a lot of damage.
Yeah, it does.
It's level 3, 1125, and it's physical. I think that's really important to know too. Being that it is physical damage, so that is a lot of damage. You're all right. I mean, her skill set does allow her to provide plenty. As top lane, Magnus going in on a Behemoth. He does eventually stun right there, waiting for the tablet use. It is going to be a kill, but at what cost here? Energy field goes down, but Malphus down as well. Looking to make some turns happen. Magnus going to be one of those engineered, definitely the second one, and ultimately a 2-for-1 exchange. So it seems like Sync is pretty on point with responding here throughout this game. And we see another case of that right there, so that they keep their hero kill lead, 13-8 hero kills now in their favor.
And Hellbringer actually has a refresher now.
Oh my god, he does, yeah. Wow, 5-1-5, 375 GPM. Yeah, he's doing pretty good.
So it looks like Boxy is actually going to go for the Frostwolf on South Forest.
Okay.
Which I think it's a good item. It's good. It's really good on melee strength heroes now, because of that activation and because it has good build up.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, we'll see like a shrunken head into a sheepstick after that.
For the late game, yeah. Yeah, Near and I definitely had a couple of observations after we were done yesterday casting, with small sample size right now for sure, but the observations that we made yesterday, a couple of notes were, one is that we saw Shieldbreaker a lot. So I honestly am expecting to see a good amount of Shieldbreaker today, something like an Arachna perhaps. Seems like it's a pretty sexy attack modifier now for people to get, especially with it working on towers now. But then Frostal Skull. Frostal Skull was another item that it seems like people were really liking and trying out more and more here in this first weekend of the patch. So as you're pointing out there, it seems like especially for these strength kind of heroes, perhaps it's going to be almost a new core considered.
Yeah. But a lot of that it's not just because of the new item. It's because of the item reworks for big items like Sheepstick. Because a lot of strength heroes would just go that item. But now, especially since the build-up has changed, like it's a pain having to try and get all those items that do really nothing for your hero.
Yeah, definitely. Again, it's so many things happening between different places, from the build-ups to the items themselves. So, yeah, it's understandable. Again, things kind of changing, and I'm sure we're going to see more and more shifting. I mean, obviously, this being the first weekend since the patch, we've kind of touched on that too. It's going to be a bit of time before we see kind of things really maybe kicking in, and with the break coming up here and everything, I'm sure that's going to be a nice opening to allow for some more practice and some more understanding what this patch really brought to us here. So, but the Frostal Skull is finished on Lord Salforce. With that said, so he has that now, 437 gold per minute, again continuing to do pretty good. I mentioned the Shield Breaker. Do you think that could be possible for Arachna here?
It could. It could definitely be. It's a good item on the hero because of the fact that his spider sting he's all physical damage, and it makes his spider do that much more damage. And he has his True Strike aura, which lets him hit towers from below the hill. So he's never going to miss from below the hill, and he can constantly stack that armor debuff on towers.
It is strong. Yeah, we saw you go yesterday. I think you were playing Kronos that one game, but actually, all that thought because Behemoth is going to get picked off here at the top lane. This time, there's no chance, or maybe there is a chance for a response. Double Malphus going to be used by Zibby. That's a very greedy play. Dr. Repulsor is going to go in with the Shrunken. They're at least going to get one. So, double Malphus, though, a Shrunken Doctor, all that just to kill a Cthulhu Fawn. I don't know if that's really worth it, honestly, for Sync.
Yeah, I don't think it was at all. The double Malphus, especially just for a Cthulhu Fawn. I think once those Malphaises, I don't know,
Malphite,
go
I
down,
think is what we use. Yeah, I don't know.
I think that Hellborn can attempt a Kongor now. Doctor Strucken has on cooldown. The Malphis and the Resto Stone are on cooldown.
And now Magnus going to go middle lane, set up a kill on a Doctor. Is this going to be... Oh, the Undying just couldn't get off. If he got the Undying on him right there, it would have been close. But yeah, he might have actually still survived, but still, the follow-up just wasn't there in time was the point. So good attempt from Make, but maybe a second too early right there for that kill chance. But yeah, I mean, as far as Kongor goes, there really isn't the most vision around it right now, so perhaps this is an opening for it, but BMG not necessarily prioritizing it here. And instead gonna continue to farm elsewhere, it looks like. So yeah, I mean, with that, BMG, it doesn't seem like that they're on a they're not like on a timeline here by any means. They're not really trying to push or, you know, get Kongor even as we're talking about here. Is that a fault, do you think, or are they fine kind of being more of a farming team here?
They can play more passive. They just have to be careful to not get picked off. Getting picked off against Legion's lineup will end the game really fast. As long as they're securing farm on Arachna and Zalforus, I think they're fine.
You see right here, Dr. Repulsor pretty far up, and his item build, by the way, we didn't really touch too much on it, but the Hellflower into a shrunken head now, so allows him to kind of get in there and obviously do some decent damage. 1,600 gold saved up. Yeah, especially with you being a carry player, it's kind of interesting to get your insight, especially on some of these things. And Grimoire is another one of these items that, again, got some changes. We actually saw Grimoire yesterday. I think maybe it was even Hacks that picked it up, but somebody did, and on a Dr. Repulsor. Have you had much to think about Grimoire and what you think about it?
I don't like the new changes at all. I think that it's significantly worse than it used to be because it's like a 45-second cooldown for only a 20% increase on spell damage for like 6 seconds, I think. Which the Grimoire before it got changed was 15% at all times on all damage.
Wait, it's only spell damage?
It's only spell damage.
Oh my god, you're right. Wow, yeah, I thought it was all damage. Okay, that's interesting. Huh. So,
But
yeah. Well, sorry, go ahead.
it still does add the 35% of the spell's mana cost as bonus damage, but I don't really care for that at all. Like the new effect on like the Dawnbringer, the Grimoire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely changed. I mean, it's more of a, you know, use a spell, attack. It's kind of like Doctor in that sense. Obviously, that's what he's good at. You know, with his Electric Frenzy. You use a spell, you attack. Use a spell, you attack. Obviously, with its ultimate, it synergizes very well. So I guess that's where it's also a little bit of an issue, perhaps. It's kind of, you know, funky to find it on the appropriate heroes and everything. So, yeah, no, it definitely got changed. So sounds like you're not maybe a fan of it, but like I said, it seems like there has kind of been a consensus, and that's why I was even more shocked that we saw it yesterday on Dr. Repulsor. But somebody did. I forget who exactly, but.
Yeah, I know that Fuzzy actually likes the new Grimoire on Behemoth though.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Because
I mean,
a 20% increase on like the ultimate.
Yeah. Well, that and the auto attacks, man. I mean, you use that enrage ability.
Yeah.
I guess it's only 50 mana, so you're not getting a whole lot of extra from it, but.
Yeah, I didn't really believe him that it was that good until I faced him in TMM and he one-shot me with the the Behemoth ultimate. Then I became a believer.
Nice. All right, Grimoire Behemoth. That would be something. Obviously, in a realistic situation, getting that expensive an item on Behemoth is not a
it's
thing,
it's possible on a Behemoth that goes mid, like a core Behemoth, but not so much on a Suicide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see here, Behemoth in this case, only 260 gold per minute, so managing though. By the way, are you moving your microphone a little bit by chance?
I think my microphone's actually a little bit broken right now.
Okay. Yeah, whatever you're doing right there was just a lot of static there. That's the only mic you got?
Yeah, at the moment it is.
Okay. You have a webcam by chance? Or webcam?
I do, but I think the mic on it's really bad.
Dang. Okay, well, we'll work with this for now.
It might be because I'm wearing my complexity hoodie, and then like the mic will like scrape up against my
I
hoodie.
think it sounds like something's scraping up against it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll put it like all the way up now.
Okay. So just don't move, whatever you do.
All right.
There you go. All right, but yeah, no, I'll let you know if it actually gets really bad. It's really not that bad, but it's just every now and then. Magnus, we see here, he has one of those new build-up items, the Luminous Prison, but point out perhaps part of the sheepstick eventually that we could be seeing here coming out. So Geometer's being finished on Arachna, so at least has that taken care of. Yeah, she really hasn't exploded in farm, but again, I guess that's Arachna. Unless she's getting hero kills, she's not really going to be taken off in farm. As, ooh, bottom. Magnus got picked off.
Yeah. Top Force is actually close to his shrunken head, and then I'm curious to see how the team fights are going to go. But like I said earlier, BMG has to make sure not to be getting picked off against this Legion lineup.
Yeah. Just kind of grind it out here, and again, no Congo yet. 32 minutes in. We are seeing the vision being put here now. Fusen does have a ward of sight in that Congo pit. I mean, he can't just force it by any means, but definitely going to be looking for that opportunity, I'm sure, as we advance along here.
Yeah, there's a shrunken head.
Okay. Yeah, I was assuming that's what that Mighty Blade was going to be on Telforce.
So I think as long as Hellborn gets their shrunken heads off before going into the fight, they have a decent chance of winning the team fight. But they really need to get the Magnus ultimate off, I think.
A level 3 Eruption would be nice as well, and Make is working towards getting that level 16 here, so he's almost there, a little over halfway on that level 15.
So it looks like a dual phone actually might be going shrunken head also. I don't really like that choice this game because he's not doing any damage. I think more utility would be fine, like a Storm Spirit, especially since they just buffed the item. They lowered the cost and increased the range.
Did they? Okay.
I think they increased the range by like 200 or something. It's pretty ridiculous now.
Yeah, yet another one of these I can't say I was aware of. Changes on this patch, so Storm Spirit, huh? God, that got a little bit of a buff. Interesting. Yeah, you're right. The range was increased. Wow, the range was increased by 200. 450 to 650. Holy crap, that's actually quite a bit.
And the cost went down by 150 gold.
Yeah. Huh. It did go down a little bit. Now, to be fair, there was a little bit of a nerf in it, too, where, especially this one being where you're basically perplexed and you're restrained for 1 second after you come down. So...
Yeah, that's not the biggest deal though. It's a decent trade-off for the extra range increase and the price reduction.
Yeah, I think it's definitely an overall consensus that people would say, yeah, it is a buff overall for sure. But they did kind of balance it a little bit though with that.
I think it was a good change overall.
Mm-hmm. So getting that would be good, but so as you're saying, maybe Cthulhu could have used that, but instead he is going to Shrunken, and yeah, not really going to be the most useful, it feels like, but we'll see how Teltuk manages with that. We do see a Storm Spirit on Ophelia, obviously, so Zlap is picked up on that. Right.
So Doctor has a Hellflower, a Sheep, and a Shrunken. One thing, though, is that if you use a Hellflower or a Sheep on Arachna, I don't know why I say Arachna, he can purge it off with his Hardened Carapace.
Yeah, and I know there was actually some debate about that, whether or not that should be a thing. I mean, my personal opinion is that it should. I mean, it's kind of just a nice advantage of the hero, but I mean, do you think that's too strong, or are you fine with that?
The thing is, it's hard to say because it's such a strong ability, and like to get out of a 5,600 gold items ability, but I guess it's really strong.
Yeah.
So
it's for what it says it does, though. It is doing what it says it does.
Yeah.
So that's like the biggest thing, I think. So I guess he could make exceptions, but oh, look at this, by the way. They're going with that Veiled Rod again. BMG loves doing this. A stun follow-up. Out comes Malphus number 1, though. Rhapsody is dropping, but the Storm Spirit in the air. Second Malphus is down as well. Engineer goes down. He could not get the energy field off. Cthulhu Font will fall in the midst of it. Arachna charging in, though, with that shrunken head. You see Rhapsody is picked off. Magnus falls, but Dr. Repulsor does go down in the midst of it, too. Arachna comes back up with that token. Didn't really even mention that, but she held that throughout that fight. Lord Salforce is going to be able to take out Behemoth in the background. And now it's Ophelia Hellbringer. Rhapsody coming back into the fight, actually. Salforce, he's so tanky, but with the double Malphus and everyone else being here, he ain't tanky enough. And Slapped eventually stops his streak and gets the kill. So actually, Sync, I mean, there was a buyback on Rhapsody, but they definitely win that fight in the end.
Was there a buyback on Hellbringer? No, there wasn't.
No.
Okay, yeah. So one thing that I noticed that fight was like outside of the fight, I think Mickey or Sorry, whoever it is, did a really good job of staying out and really waiting for the shrunken heads to come off cooldown before he went in.
Huh. So a mistake there. Definitely is. Oh, they're gonna turn this right though, actually, and they're gonna make them pay for going a little too far here. Rhapsody will go down. You see the Spider Sting gonna chase all the way to the well. But Hellbringer is going to be fine. So I guess, no, you're not the biggest deal there. And there was no buybacks, though, for BMG, just simply rezzing and able to hold right there. But, yeah.
So Hellbringer has a sheepstick now. I'm not sure if he had that the last fight.
No, he didn't, actually.
So he has a resto sheep and a resto. That's huge. Uh-oh.
Oh my god, they're going in themselves now, is Sync. And actually, there's the sheepstick under Arachna. You see Dr. Repulsor is able to chase down Cthulhu Font, and now Arachna, she's going to be sheeped, locked down, and eventually killed. So both teams kind of just, you know, they're just taking advantage of one another, maybe getting a little too comfortable all of a sudden, pushing back. And now it's Sync's turn to get kills, and now once again counter push. So this is just a back and forth fight here for these guys. And there's no buybacks being used. That's what I'm kind of surprised by. I mean, Rhapsody was the only one throughout all of that. It felt like that there was buybacks, but there haven't been. As Magnus, oh, he's going in, but I don't think he has follow-up. Yeah, very greedy play right there. Lord Self-Force is now in trouble because of this, too. It's the sheepstick, double sheepstick onto him, and he will go down. So, yeah, Make, that wasn't that didn't seem like the best decision right there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what plays are, but like I feel like BMG, like the last couple of minutes, it just kind of thrown this game.
And it's going to continue into the base here. Energy field does go down. You see Self-Force buying back into the game. Undying is applied to Doctor, and he's going to chase him down, actually. Frost of Skull Use going out right there, and actually, oh, the Protective Melody going to save him, though, once again for the time being. He's using the ludicrous speed. The dot is off of him, locked down onto Self-Force, and Dr. Repulsor is going to live. Help for the turn on the Self-Force. Is it going to be in time? It absolutely is. He will go down as Magnus eventually able to get in there, but Sync is definitely winning this fight yet again, or maybe I spoke too soon, because now here comes Balthazar's at Arachna. Chasing down, gets the kill onto Ophelia. Behemoth, though, sitting on the uphill. He's waiting for a spot to go back in. He found it right here. He goes back in onto Arachna. And now Arachna feeling the damage himself. He is going to get the turn on a Behemoth, but he goes down a hat trick for Serenia, of all players. Serenia with the hat trick. And again, they do enough to hold in here. They get the genocide, and now they're going to push into the base. Ay, ay, ay. These fights, man, are just, they're just crazy. And there we go. Just like that, the game's over. Wow. Like 2 minutes ago, this was a even game. You know, things are, maybe BMG had a little bit of advantage with their kind of pushing right there, and then all of a sudden, Sync just kind of starts rolling over them. I don't know. That was a weird end.
Yeah. It really goes back to the point that I made earlier, that BMG could not afford to get picked off. Like, they needed Magnus to just, like, he was split farming, and of course, it's really hard to do that against heroes like Dr. Pulse or Behemoth, but you just really need to make sure that he doesn't get picked off. But other than that, I think it came down to Sting's coordination. They out-team fought BMG.